Hey, I'm back. Oh, that sounded so creepy. Why did I do it like that? Hey, I'm back. What the? Okay. Hi, I'm back. And this video isn't my next installment of the no recipe, no measure, versatile sourdough breads. This is actually about black walnuts. And it's about black walnuts for a number of reasons. One is because I gave some to my sister and nieces over the holidays, and I don't hull my nuts. So there may be some that are dried out, and I wanted to show them the difference between fresh ones and dried out ones. Another reason is because a lot of foraging content has a lot, it's like you need a lot of time and not chronic illness to be able to forage and make use of it in your life. Like, I need foraging to be easy. I need it to be like a buffet. I don't need it to be another like draining, time-consuming, pain-making chore. So it's very, very, very rare that I will gather a whole lot of something and process it in a few hours or days. That is, I really enjoyed doing that with my grandma and my mom, and like preparing fish and stuff with my dad, but like doing it alone is not where it's at. I hurt my neck, I get migraines, you're getting your fingers all bloody, and like, okay, maybe my fingers aren't like getting bloody, but it feels like they are. And I'm sure they have before, like trying to get walnuts out of things with the little poker thing. I'm sure I've poked myself before. Anyway, just trying to justify my complaining, I guess. But for those that know, it is very, very hard to do with chronic illness. So, that's the other reason I wanted to do this, is to just provide an alternative way to live your foraging life and to just eat the food that's available to you and not make a big fuss over it. Just get it going. Just do something with it. It's fine. It doesn't have to be this big production. So yeah, I wanted to get this video out there just to show how I eat and live with my walnuts. My walnut trees were planted by the brick mason that built this house like 75 years ago, so I can't tell you how to plant them and make them healthy. I showed up here and they were just giving me free protein, which was unbelievable, and part of the main reason I got this house was for the walnut trees. They mean a lot to me. But what I do, sometimes I take the hulls off, like you'll see on the internet where, you get a bucket and you have this like yellow staining walnut fluid, jugalone, I think it is, or maybe that's just the stuff that's in the roots. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The yellow stuff will be all over you. It's dyeing your hands. You got to wear gloves. And like, I've done that before. I don't really like it because it's fall and it's cold and you're working with wet stuff, and I don't have a lot of circulation in my fingers and have gotten frostbite before. So I don't really like processing them like that. Not only that, but it's being bent over a bucket all day. It's if you pick up all the walnuts at once, it will like, it's pounds and pounds and pounds of walnuts. So like, I've done them in stages, so as they ripen, I'll pick them up and just process 20 or 30 at a time. And then I've also done it with them all at once. I don't like it either way. So what I usually do, though not always, I still do it that way sometimes, is just pick them up with the green hulls and let them turn black. I put them on one layer in a cardboard box and I just let the hulls turn black like they would outside, like a squirrel does. They eat them when they turn black too. So once they turn black, they look like this. They're really big brown balls. And this hull is what has the walnut shell inside. That was me showing you that I still had orange zest on my fingers from when I made my tea. But I'm rinsing it off. It's fine. I'll be back. But yeah, they look like those hulls over there. And inside the hull is a walnut shell, which is smaller because it's inside of the hull, right? And the hulls, when you take them outside to open them, don't open them in the house unless, you don't mind a mess. I've done it before, not gonna lie. But you need a broom if you do. I usually take it out on the porch, just right out the back door of the kitchen, into the kitchen garden. Okay, I'm recording the rest of this on another day, so if the energy is different, that's why. But I take them out into the back garden, and these are the open shells, by the way, in that bowl. I take the whole hull out into the back garden, and I look for a hard surface like my porch steps or an asphalt road driveway or a chunk of sidewalk or a concrete wall. If there's nothing like that, then you can always just have a special little cement block that you use for cracking your walnuts if you own a tree or something, and that would be worth your while to have a cheap little cement cinder block, and then get like a little paver landscaping brick to crack your nuts with. But yeah, I just take the hulls that look like this, just big brown balls. I take the whole thing, outside onto my porch, and I drop a rock on it. I have like a 6x6x6 cube piece of granite that I found, and it's very flat and it's very cube-like, and I just use it to bang down onto the nuts, and it cracks them. Well, it doesn't crack them. It cracks the hull off first, and then you kind of like brush it off with your fingers. You don't need to get the entire hull off. It'll be dusty. That's why you kind of want to do it outside. But once you get the hull off, you can just put it in a little like dishcloth, one that you don't mind getting dirty, and crack it again with the rock. And you can do it a little bit gently or a little bit hard. Experiment with the pressure that you need, and use the weight of the rock to your advantage to break that really hard shell. It's one of the hardest shells on nuts that exist. So you can see it right here. This is the inner shell. That's the texture on it. And this is the outer hull. The shell, the hull. Shell, hull. The shell comes out of the hull. The shell comes out of the hull. I tried to time that to line it up to where my fingers were pointing. I hope you understand that the smooth brown ball is the hull, and it's usually green. And the wrinkly brown thing I'm playing with now is the walnut shell, and it comes out of the big brown smooth hull. Okay, hopefully that's all clear, because I explain stuff weird. So, good luck to us all. This shell I pulled out and I saved just to show you guys. So I'll go into the reasons why I do like this method even more, like more reasons in a little bit. But for now, I just want to point out the difference between walnuts that have dried out and are past their prime, and a walnut that is nice and fleshy and meaty and thick, as you can see right there in my fingers. It's a light brown color. That skin has like a sheen to it. It even has striations, little stripes. This dried out piece is like jet black. It's thin, very thin. Can you see that? It's very shriveled, very dried out. This one's dried out, the dark one, right there. Okay, we get it. Stop pointing. And then This one is the one that you want to eat. That's a healthy one. That's nice. That's a normal walnut. This one is not normal. That's what you don't want to eat. It'll be very, very, very dark in color. Very thin, almost like razor thin. And the healthy ones are nice and chalky. So, okay, so the rest of this video is just more close-ups of those two things. The really good healthy meat, the chambers inside of a black walnut shell, and really dried out dark meat that you're not going to eat. As I'm showing you those things close up, I'll go ahead and explain why I'd pick this method as opposed to having clean walnuts that are just ready to crack, like normal walnut shells sitting in a bowl. Okay, so several reasons. One is for aesthetics. So I can have in my bowl of nuts walnuts that are huge with the hull on them, and they're very dark brown, and they're very textured, and they're very lightweight. And then in that same bowl, I can have ones that I did process. Like I told you, sometimes I process some that are clean and just ready to crack open, and we know for a fact that they're good because we did a float test. Whereas the other ones in the bowl, this is one of the other reasons, there's I don't know, there's a little bit of a dopamine hit because you don't know if it's going to be good or not in there. And so on days where you're up for that gamble, it's fun. It's just like a little mystery bag. You can take it outside when you're going out there anyway, for your little garden stroll with your cup of tea. And before you come in, you can just crack it open and see, is it one that's, actually got good meat in it? If so, hurrah. And you can add it to your waffles in the morning or your oatmeal, or just eat it. Just sit there and eat it. So that's one of my favorite reasons for doing it, is the mystery of it, the activity that's built into it, and just the visuals of it. But it's also, there's a functional purpose as well for gift baskets. So it's, since they're so lightweight and so large inside of the hull, you can be putting them as filler around gift baskets of jelly, pickles, baked goods. You can put these giant, fun little mystery activity things in there, and maybe sprinkle in a few that you've already hulled, and that have nuts in them if it's a gift basket, because you don't want all of the mystery ones to be duds. You want to ensure they do get some walnuts, but you get the point. It's like a really good filler. It's very lightweight. There's texture to it. It's very natural. And you can even, I was just thinking just now, I haven't done it yet, but you could probably paint on them. You could put an initial on one of them, or 3 initials, or whatever. You could probably paint on those giant hulls, which would also be cute in a gift basket. So, and I mean, they're going to keep all the way to even Easter, if you wanted to do Easter eggs and walnut hulls all in the same basket. They're cute sitting out all year on the dining room table. So I don't know, you can buy these big carved pieces of wood at florist shops and decor places, and pine cones, and all the stuff that you can use for decor for a natural look. And I just think the walnuts with the hull on are a moment. They're serving something. And then, that reason combined with what I already told you, which was just for chronic pain, and also being overworked, and foraging can be time consuming just in general. It just gives you one more option for you to decide how you're going to process walnuts. I do a combination of them, and that's probably what you'll end up doing. But it's just good to know that you have this other option, especially because I think this is a very nice, lazy option. Um, that's why it's one of my favorites. But yeah, that's probably all I have to say. How many more minutes are left in this video? I think it's almost done. I think I'm just going to sip my little tea, set it down, and sign off. Very curious if you do your walnuts this way too, though. Let me know.